Hey guys, it's me, Goat Jesus. I'm back with a new video reviewing an art tablet. I realize this isn't kind of the thing I usually post on this channel, so I want to be upfront and say that I have one or two more anime videos in the pipeline, and I just need time to edit them. Don't give up on me just yet if you're interested in my anime content. So why am I doing a video on a drawing tablet of all things? Well, as of late, I've been working as a writer for an indie game company, and they've also had me do art here and there for certain projects. Generally, I consider myself an art hobbyist, and I've been dabbling in digital art for years now. All the art on my channel is drawn by me back in the day. Initially, I used a Wacom Bamboo Intuos, the kind you can rest on your lap, but I moved away from that and got my first proper drawing tablet a couple years ago, the GAOMON PD1560, and I haven't really looked back since. A couple weeks ago, I received an email from GAOMON, the company that manufactured the tablet I use, to review a refresh of the same model, now aptly called the PD1561, and I sprang on the opportunity. In this review, I hope to compare the two models and tell you what I think of the reiteration. Full disclosure, they sent me this tablet for free in exchange for this review, but this isn't a sponsored video. All my thoughts are my own, and I have zero intention of censoring my own opinions for this review. You can find the GAOMON PD1561 retailing on their website for $380 US. Wacom Cintiq 16, their equivalent drawing tablet, will cost anywhere between $600 and $650. So we're already winning in that respect. GAOMON store also has replacement pens, gloves, and all kinds of different power outlet options, so all my non-American friends, don't fear, they got you covered. I'll include a link in the description if you want to check out those along with the specs. The PD1561 screen is 15.6 inches, or around 40 centimeters, with a 1080p display. This is exactly the same size as the previous model and hits the sweet spot for me. I'm kind of a Goldilocks of art tablets, if you get my drift. I don't like it too big or too small, I just like it just right. The tablet comes with a mount, which is easy enough to put together. They included a little screwdriver doohickey, so you don't have to go digging through a toolbox or anything. GAOMON tablets also require connecting them with a bunch of wires, one for power, a USB for the pen, and an HDMI to hook up to your computer. My husband owns a Cintiq 22 HD, which I'm not allowed to touch, and that also has a forest of wires to deal with, so this isn't unusual for drawing tablets. GAOMON also thought to include a glove so you don't need to smear your oil hand across the screen. Smear that oil. I'm always grateful when I get one of these, because in all honesty, I keep finding new ways to lose them. There's probably around like 40 of them around the house. Unfortunately, the glove is pretty dang small and seems to be built for like itty-bitty little hands. I find that a loose drawing glove works better than a tight one, so I think it would be best if they made these bigger. Thankfully, I do have little lady hands, so this wasn't really a problem for me, but if you got thick chonkers, it probably won't be any good. It comes with a holder for the pen, which is nice, if a little bit small. Blowing on it the wrong way can send it careening, so Wacom will often throw in a pair of tweezers for you to be able to easily remove the nibs off your pens, but in this case they included a hole at the bottom of the holder. Put the pen in, press it against the side, and pull, and you can easily remove the tip. Just make sure the nib doesn't fall through the bottom and get lost in the twilight zone of your office carpet. It works just fine though. As for the carrying case they included, I can't really complain that they included something when they didn't have to, but I can never really see myself using this. You'd have to unscrew the stands to even fit the tablet in the case, and it's not really worth it in most situations. Even then, I feel more comfortable throwing it back into the cardboard box it came from instead. Repack it with the foam it came with. When setting up the new tablet, you'll need to uninstall any previous drivers you had and then install the newest version from their website. I'm running a MacBook Air Pro from 2017 with Big Sur OS installed on it. Apple loves to update their computers every year or two with new operating systems, and this can often throw drivers out of whack, rendering your tablet pretty much unusable. GAOMON has been really good with providing proper updates though. When I was using my old PD1560, they managed to update their drivers within 42 hours of Apple's new OS, so I could get back to work. I hope they keep up with that sort of thing in the future, because it's honestly really good that they do get driver problems fixed so quickly. The driver itself is better than the one for the previous model. While calibration still doesn't work and seems to actively ruin the accuracy, it's easier now to assign the built-in buttons of the tablet to whatever shortcuts you want. The only issue is adjusting the points of articulation on the pen sensitivity. The pen has 8,192 levels of pressure, whatever that means, but having used this new pen for the last week, I've either had to push too hard to get the pressure I want or adjust it so that the pen is just full on pressure all the time. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm using Photoshop, but to be able to add another point to create an S-curve on the pressure graph would solve this problem, but as of now, I can't seem to do that in the current driver. It's weird because I didn't have any pressure problems with the old tablet I was using. That's only been a problem for the 1561. Speaking of pens, that's one of the biggest differences between the PD1560 and the new PD1561. And to be honest, I'm mixed on the pen, probably most out of this whole package. It's something that I'll definitely get used to with time, but I find the shape less ergonomic. The pen for the 60 had this nice curve to it that was more comfortable to hold. The new one is just a tube similar to that of a Bamboo Ink Plus, and I just don't care for it. It also has this questionable rubber material on the end. The old one didn't use rubber at all, and honestly it didn't need it. Gripped just fine with the plastic alone. Sure, this type of rubber feels premium at first, but this sort of thing degrades in heat or with time. It becomes a sticky, uncomfortable mush. I'm not really sure if it'll happen to this pen in particular, but it has with Wacom pens for me in the past. It's only $30 to get a replacement from GAOMON, so I won't go nuts if I do need to just buy a new one. But still, I'd prefer if they just didn't use the rubber at all. The tip of the pen is also a lot smaller than its predecessor and contributes to a lack of precision, as bizarre as that might seem. The bigger nib went deeper into the pen and allowed me to push on it more for a range of sensitivity. It also feels weightier, which I like more. It's not all bad though. The new pen's got some clicky buttons near the base. Neither pen has a back eraser, like Wacom, where you can flip the pen around and just use that to erase lines. So having these satisfying clicky buttons to assign to an eraser and back again works well as an alternative. The old pen had its buttons flush to the pen itself, and I kept forgetting to even use them. And even when I did, it didn't feel great, so I just avoided it altogether. I find myself using the buttons more and more on this pen. But the biggest advantage to this new pen is the lack of a need to charge it. Wacom has pretty much been a monopoly when it comes to pens that you don't need to charge, at least until recently. And I'm grateful to see GAOMON has caught up to Wacom. The old pen uses a lithium battery that had 350 hours of use for 1 hour long charge. That's actually pretty good, but it was still a pain to run out of battery at the wrong time, and then you would have to go an hour without being able to work. In the end, I hope GAOMON can offer some other product that can blend the best of both worlds, a design more similar to the old pen with maybe some of the benefits from the new. I would just use the old pen, but it's incompatible with this new tablet. If you own a 61, this pen is your only option. There's not like a million different pens like on Wacom's website that you can buy. Pen aside, the second biggest change is the display itself, and this is mostly positive on my end. There's this anti-glare finish on the whole thing, and the 1560 had this terrible habit of reflecting everything very noticeably. You'd see your face in the screen constantly while drawing. And that's not the case here anymore. The anti-glare finish also leaves it with this matte texture I rather enjoy. Drawing on the 61 is not dissimilar to drawing on paper, at least it feels that way, and it's a premium feel in general. The downside is that the colors on display are lacking. It's only 6-bit. The standard is 8-bit colors on most drawing software, and that means it's not going to display a full range of colors for you. It's not really noticeable until you compare the screen with other screens. But say you post a piece of art and you look at it on a phone, it's gonna look a little bit different. You don't have the full range of colors you might be used to on other displays. And that's a shame because this was also true on the original model. It was one of the biggest problems I had with it. And you'd think that they would have fixed it for this new one, but no. The best you can do is use your normal computer monitor to double check what you have in Photoshop or Clip Paint before rendering out your piece. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a little bit inconvenient. At the end of the day though, I would recommend the GAOMON PD1561. It provides most of the comforts you'd expect from a Wacom product, minus the steep price. And compared to Huion, I've been able to communicate easily with GAOMON as a company, well before they even offered to send me a tablet. I think this tablet's an improvement overall on the previous model, and while I don't like the pen as much because of its pressure sensitivity problems compared to the previous version, and it's thanks to that driver I'm sure that this is the reason it's causing it, it's something I think I can get used to with time. This will be my new tablet I use from now on for art, and honestly, it's pretty good. Thank you, GAOMON, for sending me this tablet and allowing me to do this review. If you're interested in purchasing it, I'll include a link in the description again. And if you're interested in anime critique and analysis, that's what I do here on this channel. So maybe check out some of my other videos if you're interested. Hope I'll see you guys next time. Goat Jesus out.